everybody's heard the stories of Mossadegh. We know the stories about, Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi. Few people know about Reza Khan, his father, how he also was in exile. And then Khomeini comes in after being in exile twice. Boom. The next thing you know, Shah leaves and Iran changes. But there were a lot of people that were for the Shah falling. There were a lot of people that said that Shah's a bad person. You got Savak, you did this. We should have had Mossadegh. We should have had this person. Some say Mossadegh was a CIA plant. Some say the Shah was the puppet of the West. You hear all of these things, right? And even some of the kids, whatever the kids believe in is whatever their parents told them. For the most part, if you're a Christian, it's probably because your parents are Christians. If you're Muslim, you're a Muslim. If you're, an LDS, sometimes you're an LDS. About 80% of the time we follow our parents' religion and beliefs that they have, except if there's a broken family, then typically you don't want to follow one of them because one of them left and you kind of like, screw it, I don't want to follow your, whatever it may be, right? There's like an animosity towards a parent. How much of what, we hear on the monarchy side, the criticism it got, how much of that criticism was real? How much of that criticism, in your opinion, obviously, there's only so much context we have on what we're talking about. What is the difference between a criticism it got under Shah's regime versus a criticism it got under the theocracy we've had the last 43 years? I'll go to you first.
Well, I wasn't alive then, but from what I know, so I feel like the experiences here are going to be able to speak to it better. But from, of course, what I've researched, and I've been to Iran many times and, family and all that kind of stuff, speaking to my family, the criticism of the Shah was valid, obviously, in the sense that it created enough dissent in his own country that people thought they wanted this revolution. They didn't want what came. Some of them did. But after Khomeini came in, everyone was like, wait, what? This is not what you promised us. Because as they can attest to, Khomeini would send in cassette tapes from his exile in France, and it was these sermons, and he was saying, the original going viral. That's it was saying about how he was gonna, women were gonna be equal and everything was gonna be great, and we're gonna go back to this type of a country where it's a little bit more modest. We're gonna get the West out, and because people were fed up with a lot of people were fed up with the Shah, not everybody. They were for this, and then your sister brought up a good point. It's really interesting that in 1979, when Khomeini came and said, actually, hijab is going to be mandatory, the women were like, whoa, that's not what you promised us. So the same women that were protesting now, somebody I heard said, the scholar Kadim Sajjadpour said, the same women that protested in 1979 against the hijab, their granddaughters now are avenging them, which is really, it's a really interesting parallel. Because they were literally getting beat up in the streets as well. And they all said afterward, we didn't get what we thought we were going to get. There's actually a great documentary that if your listeners want, if they want to get more familiar with Iran, it came out on HBO a few days ago or last week. It's called Hostages, Geroganha, four-part mini documentary series. And it shows you how we got into the hostage crisis with the Shah leaving and Carter and Khomeini and the aftermath. And it's really, really great for people who don't know that much about Iran's history.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Mortea, what would you say? Again, criticism pre-Shah, when Shah was there, the 2,500-year anniversary, he spent way too much money. Can you pull up, put the Iran 2,500-year anniversary, put this big celebration.
It was a big deal.
And it created so much criticism amongst people saying, why would you spend this much money? Go actually to the pictures so people can see what it was like. Go to the pictures and show actually what it was like. Man, if you can show a real good one. Okay, right there.
A lot of people participated in that as well from around the country.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was a big deal for people to be celebrities, political leaders. So some people saw that and they said, wow, look how strong Iran's becoming. But some people saw that in Iran, and people like Khomeini, they said, look how rich the Shah's becoming. He has all the money and you're poor, and he's taking all the money. What if we can nationalize the oil? What if we can do this? What if we can do that? What if we can have free rights? What if we can have free this? And people actually started falling for this. So, Mortea, from your perspective, you're living there at that time. The criticism that the Shah got that led to 9 million people revolting against him versus reality compared to what happened under Khomeini. Give us the difference between the two.
As a matter of fact, Patrick John, about this جشن‌های 2500 ساله, that year my brother took me to 7th Air Force Base in Shiraz, and I lived there. I saw that demonstration.
You were there?
I was next to the street. We were clapping for the whole thing. You have no idea what kind of honor he had between all these presidents and kings invited there to see our rich culture. We bring it up to the world that look who we are. We deserve where we are, and we deserve where we want to go. I sort of agree with Nazanin when she said if the door was a little bit open, Shah would let people know all those things that they were pretending that they want to bring it, they wouldn't fall for it. They wouldn't fall for it. I was working from the 9th grade, 10th grade in a bookstore right in front of the Tehran University. It was a GB bookstore that belongs to Entisharat Franklin. And I was an archivist. I was taking the inventory in and out. And I was behind the black glass window. And I would see like how students coming and looking at this side and that side and passing, for example, Samad Behrangi's book to each other. And they were scared like if Sawak see them. Let them see that there is nothing in it. It's a kid's book. Why are you making this guy so big that people make it that, oh, Sawak this, Sawak that. It wasn't a big deal. We made it big.
Savak wasn't a big deal?
It wasn't a big deal. What Savak did...
Savak is, just to put in context, folks, Savak was Iran's CIA. That's what,
Iran's CIA.
At that time. That was trained by the CIA, by the way, and the MI6
Any
at the
country
time.
have a security system.
That's right, of course.
Any country has it, right?
Sure.
For the saving the country, right? But point is, they were doing stupid things. They were doing like a thing that it wasn't a big deal at all. What I say, if Shah would let Jose Elmiye Qom gets open the door for everyone, nobody would vote to this regime. Nobody. Everybody knows like what's the origin, what's the inside the regime. They closed it. People are like, oh, it must be a magic in there. Then let's go vote. Yeah, we saw him in the moon. All of this.
You're saying if he would have allowed people the freedom to learn and have other ideologies and thoughts.
Exactly.
Right, that he would,
So he shouldn't have been afraid of Today Party, like the Communist Party that was coming in, or any of those guys.
And more important than that, Patrick John, leadership comes with a responsibility.
Sure.
If you're a leader, sometimes you have to say something that maybe 90% don't like it, but 6 months from now, they adore you for saying it and standing on your position.
Sure.
Right? When whole thing was starting, my expectation from Shah was, as a leader of the country, that we loved what he did for the country. We love what his father did for the country. Put his foot down and doesn't say, let me step out of the country, see what they're going to do. And we paid for it 43 years to become a most dry country, most poorest country.
So you're saying he shouldn't have left?
No, he shouldn't have left. He shouldn't leave.
Okay, so let's process that. Let's actually go there. If he doesn't leave, what happens? You think the people weren't going to go into the palace and go in there and get him? You don't think that was going to take place?
They couldn't story for the Cinema Rex they did. They couldn't story for the Meidun Hivdai Shahrivar they did. Because they would find out that what happened. It wasn't a 17,000 death. It was 173. They made these stories big and big and big. And because he was not defending, he was just acting very gentleman, very like a classy person.
But doesn't that contradict your argument to say that if you would have let the Today Party just come in and present their arguments, on one end you're saying he should have let him, on the other end you're saying he wasn't paranoid enough. So if he's too paranoid, hey, listen, these Today guys, let's arrest them, put him in the jail. On the other side, no, he wasn't too paranoid enough. Khomeini had more power than it really did. He should have really controlled it more. So it's almost like
that's a game, leadership playing game. Leadership playing game. When pull, when push.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. That's going to be a tough one for him to play. Thoughts?
No, I was going to say, don't forget also the Americans' role behind the scenes of all this too.
Absolutely.
They were afraid of the spread of any type of communism or anything like that, so they had a vested interest in playing the parts in the leadership.
When you say American leaders, who are you referencing? Anyone in specific?
No, the administration when
Jimmy Carter?
towards the end, yeah.
Got it. Got it. Well, I mean, we're in the U.S. right now because of Jimmy Carter. If there's no Jimmy Carter, we'll probably be still in Iran right now, depending on...
We're getting pulled from every side.
Yeah.
Our Persian Gulf belongs to 90% right. It belongs to China. Gas and gold is Russia. Obviously, West and East are pulling Iran apart, and it's not in their benefit that right now supporting people.
But also, Shah was dealing with his own health also, right? His health was deteriorating towards the end. So it was kind of like the timing of all of it come together.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.